A youngling.
And who are you supposed to be?
I'm Ahsoka?
Ugh. Feels like just yesterday I saw Ahsoka come down from that transport ship. Now, Ahsoka is one of my favorite characters of all Star Wars. If you followed me for a long time, you know that Kanan Jarrus is actually my favorite character in all Star Wars. But Ahsoka Tano is arguably the best character in all Star Wars. I'm an original fan of the Clone Wars. I remember back in 2008, I started watching it back then. But I remember when the Clone Wars had a jingle. Star Wars, the Clone Wars, Friday nights. They would sing that over and over, and I remember it distinctively. Now, if you weren't a first-time watcher of the Clone Wars back in 2008, or you weren't around that kind of area, Ahsoka's character wasn't as loved as she is today. Ahsoka wasn't very loved, actually. She was kind of hated. People thought she was annoying, and her nickname by Anakin Snips, they thought that was kind of corny. And the fact that she also called him Sky Guy. Yeah, I will admit it was a little cheesy and a little weird, and I didn't really like it myself, but her redemption is actually insane. Now, this video isn't necessarily for a first-time viewer of the Clone Wars or Rebels or etc. Really, what I'm going to do in this video is point out things that I think are important, what may play into if she shows up in The Mandalorian. First, I want a brief history for the people who have no clue who Ahsoka is. Ahsoka Tano was actually Anakin Skywalker's Padawan. She served with him throughout the entire Clone Wars. She was very skilled, obviously trained by the Chosen One, so she's gonna be skilled. You know, she goes through a couple stumbles and hurdles and growing moments, but we reached season 5. Now, in season 5, this was actually the ending to when Disney picked up the Clone Wars. This was the final ending that everyone thought they were going to get. This was even before The Lost Missions, aka season 6, came out on Netflix. Her arc was called The Trial of the Jedi. And basically, she was framed for a bombing of the Jedi Temple that she didn't commit. Then they kick her out of the Order, and then they obviously figure out after that it wasn't her. It's actually Barriss Selmy. I'll explain a video about her maybe another day. Then Ahsoka was asked to come back into the Jedi Order, and she refused.
I'm sorry, Master, but I'm not coming back.
Now, if you've seen the Clone Wars, you definitely know that scene where she walks away from Anakin and you're just crying your heart out, and it is the worst feeling ever in the world. I still get choked up about it right now as I'm talking about it. Anakin and Ahsoka's relationship is like none other. It's honestly one of the best things I've ever seen in a TV show. Then, you know, the Siege of Mandalore happens. I explained this in Who is Bo-Katan episode last week. They fought together and overthrew Maul on Mandalore, and then Order 66 happens. She obviously survives. Captain Rex was with her, then he split off from her. They split ways, and then he helped Gregor and Wolf get their chips out of their head. And if you don't know who Gregor and Wolf are, they're just other troopers in the Clone Army. Now, there's some really cool moments in Star Wars Rebels where she actually faces down Darth Vader. Now, I never knew that in my entire life I would be able to see Darth Vader and Ahsoka fight. One of the coolest moments in all of Star Wars. If you have not seen Rebels, please fucking watch Rebels. It's one of the best things I've ever seen in my entire life. Well, then she disappears for a while, comes back, and helps Ezra guide through his end of his training, kind of. I'm not going to explain how Ezra gets lost, but Ezra gets lost. But at the end of Rebels, Sabine and Ahsoka team up and go to find Ezra. So chronologically, that is the last point to where we see Ahsoka Tano. She is with Sabine Wren, and she's going to find Ezra Bridger. Now, I'm going to kind of go over what I wish and hope to see, and then I'm going to kind of delve into something that some of you may not like, Ahsoka Tano's fate. Now, when Ezra got lost, he was in a Star Destroyer with Grand Admiral Thrawn, and then they go into somewhere in the galaxy. Sabine Wren, a Mandalorian, teams up with Ahsoka, which it kind of plays into the TV show The Mandalorian, because if Sabine Wren showed up, it wouldn't be that crazy or far-fetched. So I'd like to put my bet that you might see Sabine Wren either this week or later down the road. But now we're going to the territory, which it's slightly unlikely, but maybe. Now, at this point, it's 5 years after the Empire has fallen, and then at the end of Rebels, by the way, the timeline is the Empire has fallen, and that's like kind of the time they are looking for Ezra, is after the Empire fell. So we're basically neck and neck post Rebels and Mandalorian. So I think it's fair to assume and say that we might see Ezra Bridger. If we could see Ezra, I would be totally amazed. As I said before, Kanan Jarrus, one of my favorite characters ever. His Padawan, Ezra Bridger, an awesome character. He kind of, for me, was like an Ahsoka back then. At the beginning, I didn't really like him that much, but then his character developed so great, and at the end of it, I absolutely loved him. If we were able to see Ezra Bridger in this, it would be awesome. I would give my left toe to see Ezra Bridger in this show. To be fair, I don't really think we'll see him. I think he's still going to be lost. Maybe Din Djarin finds him. Who knows? The possibilities are endless in the show. They really could do whatever. But I think it's fair to assume that he might not be in the show, but I'm hoping. We get to a fan favorite character. All over the fandom loves this guy. Captain Rex. Now we know by Sabine Wren, as she was narrating the final episode at the end, that Captain Rex actually fought on the Battle of Endor, which is crazy. This guy has been through 2 wars and has kicked ass and taken some names. Captain Rex is probably not my favorite clone. Fives is probably my favorite clone. Captain Rex, you cannot deny that he's one of the best characters in Star Wars. But I think it would be cool to see Captain Rex and, you know, maybe Wolf on Corvus. Because at the end of Rebels, we see both of them survive. Gregor unfortunately passed away. R.I.P. But I think it would be super cool to see Captain Rex. We already got the actor. I also saw this everywhere, so I'm gonna cover it. A lot of people say the potential of us seeing Luke Skywalker. Now, I'm not trying to harsh on anyone's buzz or anything like that, but I don't think this is Luke's story. Luke Skywalker, I will 99% approve that this guy will not show up. I would be in total awe if he showed up. To me, there's little to no evidence that would support that, but there also isn't a lot of evidence that contradicts that either. But I really wouldn't put, you know, your eggs in all that basket. I'd really focus on kind of Clone Wars type characters and also Rebel characters. And obviously in this episode, I think we're going to see Ahsoka. There's no way we're not seeing her. Now, in this point of the video, I'm really going to say what I think is going to happen. And I'm really going to tell my theory of what I think Ahsoka's fate's going to be. Now let's backtrack all the way back to December 2019. Back in December 2019, The Rise of Skywalker is released. And at the end of the sequence with Rey's getting up and, you know, you actually hear Kanan Jarrus tell her, you know, I forget his phrase, but he was in there and I was super excited and I cried. It was awesome. But you also heard Ahsoka Tano's voice, which all the people who spoke to Rey in that moment were all Force ghosts, which tells me that, unfortunately and sad, I can't believe I'm even saying this to you guys, even theorizing this, but I think it's a fair assessment. I feel like The Mandalorian will show Ahsoka's death. I don't necessarily think that it's going to be this episode, but I definitely think that we're going to see it, which, oh man, that breaks my heart. She's one of my favorite characters in all of cinema, really. But I really think that's what we're going to see. And I'm saying this now because I want to prepare all of you for that moment. But I'm telling you, this is the best way for her to go out. Because Dave Filoni is all over this. You know, he created the character. I think he should be able to end it. And I think with this show, I think she will pass. That doesn't mean we'll never see her character ever again. I just think this is a right moment for her character to pass on. Like, we might see more rebellion stuff out of Ahsoka or something like that. Maybe have her as a child in another show. But I really think this show will be the last time we see Ahsoka, which is a really morbid thought, but it's true, man. I really think that's what we're gonna do. I also think the child won't go with Ahsoka. My theory, though, is that Ezra Bridger will be the holder of the child, which would be awesome, I think. And I think he could do it too, honestly, but we'll see. That's the video, guys. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, make sure to hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe, guys. I review every Mandalorian episode, and I plan on doing even more videos about Star Wars. So if you're interested in that, make sure to hit the sub button. All my socials will be in the description. Also, my Twitch channel will be there too, which if you enjoy watching video games and people play them, be sure to follow me there. I stream about every day. Thanks for watching, everyone, and may the Force be with you always.